We are Cactus Wrestling. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos.
Cactus Wrestling is now available on Spotify and Amazon. And don't forget to check us out on Etsy for all of your Cactus Wrestling apparel needs. Bo Bassett is an Iowa Hawkeye, and JAX FORREST is an Oklahoma State Cowboy.
Pistols firing, baby.
Did you see this coming? I know I put a poll out there. I think everyone kind of predicted JAX to Okie State. That one was
Yeah.
a
That was
little.
like the most open shut case. Like even
Yeah,
like
yeah.
weeks ago when his dad had to do like a press conference out of nowhere where he's like, no, 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 like Jax is looking into all schools. All schools are on board. Like this is no one. And then Jax is like, yeah, I'm going to
Oh,
Oklahoma State to no one's shock.
yeah.
But the other shock, the
Big,
shock
yeah, the real shock.
is Bo Bassett commits to Iowa. And I mean, it kind of makes sense now retrospectively because he grew up an Iowa Hawkeye fan. I
He
mean,
did.
you saw those pictures of
Yeah.
both Bo and Jax as little kids wearing Iowa and Okie State, idolizing Spencer Lee, um, and following in his footsteps.
Yeah, but
And
I mean, it does speak to like, a childhood dream. And I'm going
yeah.
to drop, Will Henkel, same thing. Like, as long as I've known him, he's wanted to go to Penn State. And we've even talked like, hey, like, where does he necessarily fit into the lineup? And a lot of these guys are like, well, I'll just figure that out when I get there because you can't put a price on a dream. And, Bo, same thing. Iowa his whole life. Um, Jax, Oklahoma State his whole life. Like, a lot of these, like, when you kind of peel away the layers of, what fans think and the speculation, you're like, hey, like, these guys are just kids at the end of the day, like going to the school that they always wanted to go to.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he made such a spectacle that it was kind of underwhelming to see Iowa as the choice.
Yeah.
I still think that Iowa gets too much hate. I mean, I know the Brands brothers get a lot of hate.
Well, did you see the what was it? The duel, the interview at like a halfway point with with Tom Franz where it's like, what do you think you need to do to turn around and win this duel? Win more matches. And it's like, okay, well, how are you going to do that? Score more points. And it's
Yeah, he was
oh,
he was in classic Tom
whew.
Brady mode.
Yeah, wow.
I
He
liked
really
his
thought that.
presser. Did you see his presser? And he was like, "We're gonna treat it like an engine, and we got 10. It's a V10. We got 10 cylinders, and right now we're only running on two of them."
Yeah. Yeah, and then they were like, which two? And they're like,
He's like, "I'll
I'm
leave you."
I'm not going to answer that question. I'm not trying to be a jerk, but you know which two. You know which two.
I was like, "This dude." I mean, he's so entertaining in so many ways. But I agree with Jack. Like, and we've said this too. Yeah, for as much as I like to give a hard time to Iowa, what have they done in the last few years? They've won a national championship as a team. They probably would have won it the COVID year as well, been back to back. They've taken second a bunch of years. They've taken third a few times. Like
They're always top five.
they're
They're
always,
always
I would
top
even
five.
say top four even.
Yeah,
I mean,
always.
when did they took, well, no, they took fifth at nationals last in,
Yeah, but last year they were plagued with the whole gambling scandal where half,
that's exactly it.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
they lost.
four of
Yeah, they
their
lost to
returners
Nelson
got,
Burns. Yeah.
Dude,
booted.
if I was if I was Nelson Brands, I would make a tweet that said like I was betting on Bo to come here the whole time.
So
That'd
it's going to be interesting now. The 2026 big board has two guys to Iowa, Bo Bassett and teammate Owen McMullen. He
Yep.
projected 184 pounder. And then Okie State is building up
A
quite
really
the
good,
force
yeah.
because Jashawn Ross, they have Kellen Wolbert, who's number 22 out of Wisconsin, and another 100 top 100 Rockland Zinkin out of Buchanan, California.
You can't get some
Okie
tough kids.
Okie State, and not to kind of compare to Penn State because Penn State's recruiting class for this past year in 2025 is insane, but 2026, I believe the only one committed so far is Sam Herring, who's
Yep.
also of Bishop McCourt,
A lot of
41
teammates of
49
Bo and
pounder.
Jax.
The question is are we going to see I mean, one, it's great to see all these guys go into different schools, but will we see them compete against each other in college? I don't think Bo and Jax will compete against each other,
You
and
think so?
I don't think so.
I think that they're gonna all meet up around 149 at some point, and Marcus Blaze is included in that.
I feel like Jax is gonna
That'd be
cap out
crazy
at
if all three of
141.
them were at 149.
Well, what's funny is Jax says, in his interview for with Flo, he said that he's like, I think I'm gonna go 41, and he says he sees himself maybe as a 49 down the road.
But he
Jax is
also
pretty
didn't he
tall.
also say he didn't want a red shirt. He wanted to compete right away.
Yeah, and same thing. Bo is the same way, and part of me thinks that maybe that's why they didn't consider Penn State maybe as much is because it's the depth at some of those weight classes, especially where they want to be, is pretty deep right now. And it's rare for Kale and the Penn State crew to be like, "Yep, we're gonna have a true freshman wrestle." But additionally, it's rare for Iowa to do it. They only did it a
I
few
was gonna
times.
say, yeah,
Spencer
it's
Lee,
feel like it's even rarer unless
yeah,
they decide to pull Angelos this year, which
they won't.
they probably
No.
should.
I mean, well, Gabe Arnold had that awesome match to Silas Allred the other day.
That was not great.
Yeah,
We'll get into that in our
great.
weekend recap.
Yeah, great take
Stay
on
tuned
it.
for that. But
Well, so I think that there's a strong chance Marcus Blaze, Jax Forrest, and Bo Bassett all end up around 149. And part of my reasoning for that is that Bo and Jax are already 18 years old. Like they are probably through the majority of their growth.
I feel like Jax is gonna be 141.
Jax is going to fill out. I mean, he's cutting a lot. He talked about it was a hard cut down to make 27 for the PIAA
That's
state duels.
16 pound or not 16,
Yeah.
14 pound difference from 41 to 27.
Well, he's 33 for the most of the season. I mean, he already said like he plans to go 61 kilos for senior for Worlds this year. Um, I think he's like a year behind Marcus Blaze as far as size, but like you look at how long and lean Jax Forrest is.
He's gonna be Kevin Jack at 141.
could
I think
be.
he could be.
Six
I
foot
don't think,
tall and
yeah, I don't think Bo's going to
141.
get much bigger either. I think that, he's not super tall and his parents don't seem very tall.
Yeah.
Um, and he's kind of been like
You don't
forcing
stop
his
growing
weight.
till you're 25.
I stopped growing when I was like 15. Been 5'4" for a long time, brother. Um, but
Oh no, maybe that's just the human body doesn't stop growing.
yeah, maybe, but I've said this before. I don't think Bo is like a quote unquote big 44. Like
Right.
he's not overly muscular. He's not overly defined. He's not like super low body fat. He's in a good athletic build, but he's not like a wow, he must be cutting a ton to make 44. I think that he wants to say 65 kilo for international, and I'm sure he's going to be around the 49, 41 range for college. And Marcus Blaze, same thing, has already said like he's projected as a 141. I think there's a really good chance that these guys meet up, which would be awesome to see a Penn State stud in Marcus Blaze, a Oklahoma State stud in Jax Forrest, and an Iowa stud in Bo Bassett, all duking it out for the 2027 national championship.
I feel like 141 is the most likely where the three of them
Yeah,
collide.
probably.
I feel like it's unlikely all three of them end up at 49.
Now, the question that I have for you guys before we get into a little bit further is when do we think we see Bo wrestle for Iowa? Do you think he goes immediately as a true freshman in 2027?
I
I
mean, if
think
he goes and tells Brands that that's what he wants to do,
Because
maybe.
he's going to take the Olympic red shirt in 2028.
they'll probably do the similar route that they did Spencer Lee. I think
Think
it's going to
so?
be a complete repeat. They're going to throw him out there, see how he competes against the top guys. If he wins a match, then they'll consider pulling his red shirt.
Okay, because I was gonna say if they redshirt him, um, there's a real possibility we don't see Bo wrestle till 2029, and he would be 23 years old.
Well, no, 2027.
Well, no, because if he doesn't, he's class of 26 or 20. So if he doesn't
Yeah, so
wrestle,
if he redshirts for the 26-27 season,
that's what I'm saying. Then we wouldn't see him wrestle in the 27, 28 because that's the Olympic red shirt.
Honestly, he probably will redshirt and then redshirt like the Iowa way.
and then come out in 2028, 2029, which would make him, like I said, like 4 years from now,
That's stupid.
he'd be like 22, 23
Yeah, that sounds
That's
about right.
as a
AJ
freshman.
Ferrari style.
Yeah, it's just like I said, that's what's so interesting to me about Bo is that, you know, I think that there's a lot to just look at. There's a lot of pieces because he wants to accomplish so many things, and
Hmm.
how do they all fit like a jigsaw puzzle? But how do you guys think he's going to do at Iowa?
I think a guy like him, it doesn't matter where he goes. He's gonna
I've said that
succeed
before.
anywhere, just similar to Andrew Leary is.
I mean, I guess if he is a Spencer Lee, then yeah, it's not going to matter. He's still going to have a lot of success.
But
I'm
also,
just,
like you're going to one of the top pro. Like you can give the
it's not,
Brands
yeah, it's not like
brothers
you're
all
going to
the.
a bad school.
Yeah, he's Big Ten. He's going to be competing against the best of the best. He's got Spencer Lee in the room. He's got
Austin
whoever.
Santo.
Austin- Caleb Young is similar-ish weight. I think he's still sticking around. No Kemmerer, but
Connor Kemmer. Alex
Marinelli.
Marinelli.
Yeah, so I'm sure he's going to be just fine. I'm sure the Brands brothers will wrestle with him. Like
I mean,
he's going
aren't
to
they
have
in the
plenty of
like late
guys.
50s?
They're in their 50s, yeah. Well, let's see. Well, they're twins. They're
Tom
both.
Ryan still wrestles.
All right, well, they're going to be 57 in April, and by the time Bo gets there, they'll be 60.
Yeah.
Don't matter. It's at
I,
the University of Iowa.
we wrestle. No, like I said, my issue with this is that like I want to see Bo have a really successful international career, and I don't know if the Hawkeye Wrestling Club is doing that right now. Spencer's
Excuse
doing
me.
great
That
at
yeah,
this.
Spencer is
Yeah.
Spencer
the
Lee is
highest
the
placing
pioneer
guy at
of
the
the
Olympics.
Hawkeye.
Hey, Iowa is lightweight you. You got guys like Matt McDonough, um, Tony Ramos, Corey Clark, Spencer Lee. But then who was the last middleweight that won a national title for them?
Oh, what's his face?
Derek St. John.
Derek
Yeah,
St.
Derek St.
John.
John. Yep.
In like 12, 13 years ago?
Hey, he could have been a two-timer if Dake didn't.
He could have for sure, but he wasn't. So,
Yeah, but he
but
wasn't, so he's nobody,
I don't know. I worry about Bo's development at Iowa in the sense that like I hope they can help him jump to that next level because we've seen a lot of great talent at Iowa that had a hard time jumping to the next level in freestyle. And I would hate to see him get held back.
You don't think Gabe Arnold's made it to the next level of freestyle?
No, I don't know if you're joking or not because Gabe lost to Zach Ryder,
Yeah, I
who,
know.
um,
I'm
yeah,
well aware of that one.
not, yeah. I said Spencer's awesome, but I've said this to you guys. I think Spencer had the ability to succeed anywhere he went. And I think Bo has that ability as well. I just hope that his body holds up well at Iowa. I was a little
You,
concerned to see him wearing the shoulder brace the other day.
oh yeah, you said it was very fitting of
Yeah,
Iowa.
I said it was funny. He commits to Iowa after he wears a shoulder brace for the first time all season. And I'm like, oh God, it's already starting. Um, I'm
Now,
gonna predict Bo is a two-time national champ, three-time national finalist, four-time All-American.
Wow.
Yeah,
hmm.
I'm not really. I mean, it would just be a random guess at this point. I
It's
mean,
kind
that's
of a
what I
prediction.
did too. I'm randomly
yeah,
shooting.
yeah.
Now, how do you think Penn State's gonna be able to handle having such a lackluster 26 recruiting crowd?
I think that
You know what the
we do.
big implication is because you're gonna get his brothers too that are gonna come in,
Well,
and then the trickle effect. It's like other guys that want to train and
oh,
be
that's
his
it.
teamate.
So part of
And
why I think he went
DeLuca's
to
there
Iowa.
too.
What's up?
They have DeLuca going in like this fall.
They do. Yeah, I mean Iowa still gets good recruiting classes.
Yeah.
Um, so first point, Melvin Miller said that he still isn't sold on going to Iowa. Not in those exact words,
Hmm.
but he said like he goes, look,
Hogwash.
he said that like, I'm
Wants to
considering
do what Bo did and say, all right, these are my top 78 schools.
Melvin told Willie Saylor, who runs Math Scouts and Intermat. He was like, look, like Melvin last time we talked, even after Bo's commitment, said that he still isn't firm in any commitments for himself and he's still exploring all the options, which is, the standard textbook thing. But part of why I think Bo went to Iowa is because he can still keep his brand going. Um, I don't think he could have done that at like another school. So I think that'll be huge for recruitment. Just like, Spencer's face was everywhere, I think Bo's face is going to be everywhere. But um, I don't think Penn State needed a good 2026 class considering their 2024 and 2025. Like we've talked about this, there has, there can only be so much depth. There can only be so many guys there. Like, Penn State can't get everyone. And I think
Hey,
that,
10 national champs a year.
well, yeah, until they get 10 national champs a year. But, you know, I think PJ Duke beats Bo Bassett, assuming they meet up somewhere.
They're not going to be the same weight.
Nowhere near the same weight.
PJ
Well,
Duke's going to be like a 74 pounder. He's going
no,
to be
he's
Levi.
short
He's going to be
too.
Levi Haynes' replacement.
No, he's going to be the 65.
And Mitch is going to go up.
I think so. Well, PJ wrestled 70 kilos, and that's 154.
Yeah, and you were just saying Bo is what, 60,
Five. He's the
65?
next weight
Yeah,
class
that's
down.
12-pound difference.
Just a one weight class.
It's just a one-weight class.
But I don't know. I think PJ is probably gonna be 57, maybe 65. He's not that tall either.
Wait
Uh,
a second. When we did that video of the four most hyped wrestlers, how did you rank them?
I think I had PJ as my number one.
Really?
I
You're
thought I
still
did.
you're still on that.
Yeah, the dude's a freak.
I
Uh,
had him low because of the injury
well,
proneness.
that's exactly it. I said he's gonna be boom or bust.
Mm.
But I watched PJ Duke warm up with Bo Bassett for U20 Worlds. I have never seen someone manhandle Bo like that.
Well, it was a warm up.
But still, it was still drilling, sparring. Like PJ controlled him so effortlessly. Like it was really shocking to me because I've seen
Like when you
Bo.
go against your youth guys
Yeah, like when I wrestle my youth guys.
or Kenna.
Ken and I are pretty close. We go back and forth, but he's gonna be a state open champ, so it's okay. Um, but no, we've seen Bo do really well in freestyle against, Division One national champions, beating Ashnault. I was surprised to see PJ Duke like almost effortlessly moving him. And granted, it was warm-ups, it wasn't full speed, but like it just seemed like how much more controlling PJ was than I expected him to be.
Hmm,
Um,
interesting.
I think Jax is going to have possibly the better career. But we've talked about this as well, like in our hype video. Um, he makes the most sense to me going to Oklahoma State. He gets to wrestle with Gilman. He gets to wrestle with RBY. He gets to wrestle with Dayton Fix. David Taylor, his style as a
Well,
coach,
you know who just beat RBY.
Spencer Lee, in the closest match he's had ever, 6-3. That is not.
It was
No,
a lot more
that's much when he
dominant than you
lost.
saw. If you watched it, he gave
Okay,
up
it
a
was
takedown at the
60.
end.
It was
RBY went hog wild at the end, didn't do anything for 5.5 minutes, and then
it
goes
was
balls wild. And Spencer's like, "All right, calm down. I'll give up this takedown. It doesn't matter. I still beat
was
you."
6-0 going into the second. Spencer gives up 3 points. Even then, how did he do it at the Olympics? Does anyone remember how he did until he got to the finals?
He-
Spencer teched his way through.
Yeah.
To
Okay.
say that you can't tech or even put
It's
up
kind of hard to wrestle a guy who doesn't want to wrestle back. Hey,
ooh,
Oh.
hey, good wrestlers find a way, brother.
mm.
All I'm saying is
Say
much
that to
closer
Carter
match than you guys
Starachi.
expected. I agree. Carter's got to find a way, and if he needed to, he would have, but he didn't need to.
All
Yeah,
I'm
because
saying.
those injury default losses don't actually count.
Did you see? Um, we're jumping around a lot, but I think Penn State when they posted the score, they posted it like they didn't lose that match.
Yeah, no, he said that the
Yeah.
wording said the disgusting.
Um, I don't know. I was really surprised because I thought Spencer was going to beat up RBY, and
I mean, he dominated.
He did, but it wasn't like I thought he was going to attack him. I
Hmm.
really, Spencer is a guy that is a silver medalist at the Olympics. RBY is not.
Either way, Jack's Force is going to be good hands. You got Dayton Fix in the rim as well. Like plenty of
Yeah,
guys are coming to Oklahoma State.
100%. And I think that his style was going to fit David Taylor really well, or David Taylor's going to fit
Yeah.
his style really well.
Yeah, I see that
Um,
for sure.
I'm
So
more worried about Oklahoma State than Iowa for like upending Penn State.
You're worried?
Not I would say
he's
worried, but
worried as a Penn State fan
yeah,
that they're
Oh,
gonna be
I would
get
be
beat
more
out.
concerned about Oklahoma State instead of Iowa. Yes, Bo
oh,
Bass is a
definitely. Yeah.
huge recruit, but I think like David Taylor is the young blood. We're already seeing how he's already
Well,
revitalizing that
Serber
program.
went from a guy that was like
Yeah.
an multi-time NCAA qualifier that was like a non-entity. He's like one of the top guys in the country now.
Yep. I think they're going to be. I'm really looking forward to their duel with Iowa, and we're going to do a. I'm sure we'll do a video on that, previewing it.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I'm super excited, and I think it's good that Bo and Jax both didn't go to Penn State.
Yeah, I
The
think
sport
that's
needs a little
very
bit
good.
more, a little bit more variety, if that's the word that I'm looking for.
For sure. So let us know your thoughts about Bo Bassett, Jax Forrest, all the big top recruits. Are you surprised? How do you think it's going to impact the future of collegiate wrestling? Drop all your comments down below.
How do you think
And
predictions? What do you see their careers looking at, like at Oklahoma State and Iowa
will they face off against each other? And if so, who's going to win that matchup? I picked Bo.
against
Jax.
Jax?
Yeah,
Yeah, I do too. I think
Marcus Blaze.
I picked
Marcus
Blaze.
is, yeah, I would probably pick Blaze. His
I'm gonna
freestyle
go
is a
all
pretty
in on
good.
Jax Forrest here.
But I don't think they're going to be the same weight, so.
No, I think that the best shot, like you guys said, is probably gonna be if they all meet up at 141, but I don't think Bo's gonna be there. And I think Jax will be probably 133 his first year. It just
Yeah.
depends how much they grow this next season.
These 18-year-old juniors in high school, they don't
Hey,
grow them like they used to.
Thanks for watching. We are Cactus Wrestling, and we'll see you next time on our next video.